republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have 3 sets of minutes because we had a meeting on October the 28th. The Watts Township Board of Supervisors Act 537 meeting was called to order at 5 p.m. on October 28, 2015 at the Municipal Building by Chairman Carl Rudinsky with the Pledge of Allegiance. Alan Ziegler from Larson Design Group presented their proposal for the Act 537 plan, with the Township SEO doing the water sampling and paying him directly additional monies for the number of samplings required as deemed necessary by DEP. Kyle Fritz from the Eads Group presented their proposal and their staff doing the water sampling. The contract allows for the total cost not to be exceeded, and if the actual costs are less, it will be billed on a time and material basis. Several residents had questions on the procedures and requirements, which both firms answered. The board tabled the decision to award the contract to a later date. A motion was made to adjourn the meeting. Rudinsky-Gutow, motion carried unanimously.
Okay, can I get approval of these minutes?
I'll second the motion for approval on those minutes. These are the November 4th regular meeting. The Watts Township Board of Supervisors meeting was called to order at 6:30 p.m. on November 4th, 2015 at the New Buffalo Fire Hall by Chairman Carl Rudinsky with the Pledge of Allegiance. A motion was made to approve the minutes as read. Rudinsky-Gutow, motion carried unanimously. Public comment. A motion was made to grant the waivers from Section 304, Preliminary Plat Procedure, Section 305, Preliminary Plat Specifications, Section 307.1, Final Plat Size, Section 307.1.w, Contours at 5 feet vertical intervals for the Richmond Roberts subdivision plan. Rudinsky-Gutow, motion carried unanimously. A motion was made to approve the plan. Gutow-Smith-Gall, motion carried unanimously. Frank Powell commented that plans to be reviewed be put on the agenda before the public comment period in the future. He pointed out that the zoning officer, Bob Hart, has made several mistakes over the past year and asked that the board correct the situation. Supervisor Gutow stated a remedy is being worked on. He also stated that the engineer has been doing the zoning review on subdivision plans instead of Bob. He also asked what is being done by Bob on the house at the Burger King. Supervisor Gutow stated Bob had a head injury in the past month and is still recuperating. Zoning officer Bob Hart was absent. His report stated 2 permits were issued. Engineer Jerry Spees was absent. The GP for the stream bed at the firehouse will be submitted next week. Unfinished business. Sasa Sauda. The Watts Planning Commission is reviewing. A motion was made to adopt the 2013 audit. Gutow-Smith-Gall, motion carried unanimously. Audit 2014 has been started. Act 537. The matter was tabled. New information has been given on options to complete the plan. Informational letter to residents regarding the Act 537 plan. No action was taken. Farhat Excavating at 3139 Susquehanna Trail. This is the property referred to at the October 7, 2015 meeting. The Secretary sent a letter to Mr. Farhat informing him that a land development plan needs to be submitted. An occupancy permit cannot be issued by BIU until it is submitted. A motion was made to have Jerry Spees contact the Perry County Conservation District. Gutow-Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. Driveway Committee's proposed ordinance. A motion was made to rescind the August 5, 2015 motion asking the township officials to bring their comments on the Driveway Committee's driveway ordinance to the Planning Commission for comments. Gutow-Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. A motion was made to send 4 amendments to the original driveway ordinance to the Planning Commission. Gutow-Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. Frank Poust asked what the status is of the Driveway Committee's proposed ordinance. Supervisor Rudinsky stated the saldo is coming first. Roadmaster, line painting is being done by the Township Road Crew. New business, a motion was made to hold the budget workshop meeting and award the Act 537 contract on November 12, 2015 at 6:30 p.m. at the Municipal Building and to advertise. Smith-Gall-Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. A motion was made to advertise the Township's intention to hire a CPA for the 2015 audit. Smith-Gall-Gutow, motion carried unanimously. Frank Poust asked why the elected auditors aren't being used. Chairman Rudinsky stated it's the board's option to do so as they have no experience and it is the advice of the solicitor. Brian Reissnyder asked if the Board of Supervisors is trying to stop the Board of Auditors from auditing the records. The answer is no.
The
Planning
answer was
Commission-
not yet.
I'm not done.
Sorry, was not yet.
Planning Commission, October minutes have been submitted. No, that wasn't it. Dale Lukens asked what the legal fees of $1,370.50 are. The secretary read the Rager and Adler PC invoice charges. A motion was made to pay the bills and any bills that come due before the next meeting. Rudinsky, Smith-Gall, motion carried unanimously. A motion was made to adjourn the meeting. Smith-Gall, Gutal, motion carried unanimously.
All right, can I get a motion to accept the minutes as read?
I'll make a motion to, second that motion.
I'll second
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay,
1 second.
next one.
Okay. The November 12th, the Watts Township special meeting was called to order by Chairman Rudinsky at 6:30 p.m. on November 12, 2015, in the municipal building with the Pledge of Allegiance. Public comment, there was none. A motion was made to advertise the 2016 proposed budget. Rudinsky, Gutal, motion carried unanimously. A motion was made to award the Act 537 plan contract to the Eads Group with the SEO doing the water sampling upon the solicitor's review of the contract. Gutal, Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. A motion was made to adjourn the meeting. Rudinsky, Gutal, motion carried unanimously.
Get a motion to accept these minutes?
Second motion.
Okay. All in favor, aye? Okay, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I got a question here. It was mentioned about there being 4 amendments to the current driveway ordinance that were never at the Planning Commission meeting. Do we have those 4 amendments?
They will be submitted at the planning commission meeting next week. The Seldo was, again, that was the
Now, that
comment,
was the first project.
so that was going to be.
I was just wondering because they weren't there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, it will be submitted to the planning commission.
Okay.
Kyle?
Okay, I spoke with Linus, the solicitor, over the past couple days, and I have 2 copies of the Act 537
Hey,
agreement.
speak a little louder, Carl, I can't hear you.
Okay. There's two copies of the Act 537 agreement and 2 copies of the task activity report. Both are ready for signature. Once the task activity report is signed, we'll get it in the mail tomorrow to DEP for their approval. In addition to those 2 documents, I also have an example of this notice of township planning requirements to be, the letter to be sent out. If the board's okay with it, I'd like to get that in the mail as soon as possible too, just so we can give the people enough time to respond to it. Generally what it is, just to give you a brief rundown, it explains what the township's requirements are for the plan, and then there's a survey on the second sheet.
Is that something you'll be mailing now?
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
yeah. Now,
Okay.
I'll probably get with you guys to get the list of addresses.
You know, I think I know how we're going to do the mailing. I mean, if it's okay with you.
Yeah.
There's a expeditious way of doing it,
That sounds good,
okay?
because it's a pain to send all those
Yeah,
little-
no,
Yeah,
we can handle it.
okay, great.
You can pay for it. Well, we're going to end up paying for it. No, we're going to end up paying for it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'll take care of that.
Okay, great.
Okay, you have everything there, and we need a sign.
You need to make a motion to sign the contract, sign the task activity report, and approve the letter going out to the residents.
Somebody give me a
Just
motion.
like that.
What's the total cost of this contract?
What?
What's the total cost of the contract in the city?
$39,530.
Thanks.
So you need a motion for,
Motion to sign the contract, sign the task activity report, and
Letter.
the letter going out to the residents.
you need a motion for all of the things that Nancy just mentioned.
Yeah,
Who did?
All in favor, aye?
Glenn?
The only question I have is, Carl, I'm sorry, sir. The only question I have as far as if we send this out in its totality, I don't know if it's permissible or how you want to handle it, I'm talking about it a little bit later. Maybe an additional page or something,
Yeah.
as far as any comments that,
Yeah, we can make small edits too before it goes out,
Okay.
and we can talk about that.
okay. I mean, this is probably fine, perfect the way it is, we've had a lot of experience with it, I know with other townships, so.
Well, I was just telling Nancy, we sent about 1,000 now,
Yep.
in another township just north of here, and in about 2 to 3 weeks, we got 150 back.
Okay.
So,
So compliance was pretty good.
yeah,
That's what you're saying.
those people filled out and just returned it.
Okay. Very good.
I guess we got that, everything for him.
Yeah.
If you guys just want to hold on to one copy, I'll take the other one, and I'll send the test report out to DEP tomorrow.
Okay.
Did you need me to sign on this?
No.
There's yours, then, okay. And what else did you, these are our copies then, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kyle.
Okay, so we get to go on to the zoning officer.
Thanks for coming.
Yep, you're welcome.
Zoning officer, 2 permits were issued to Robert Snyder on 80 Amity Road, and the house by Burger King, Mr. Singh, he will be sending a letter to the township with his intentions of what he's gonna do with the property.
Part of the plan,
I
though,
think currently his intentions are to tear it down and scale back that property and erect the wall so he has greater room at the truck pumps.
the plan calls for him to tear that down after being vacated, and you were to give him a time limit to do that, is the way it reads.
So he's gonna be sending us a letter.
Right.
Yeah, soon, I wonder.
No, fairly. I would think
I'm
fairly.
waiting for him to send the township a letter requesting one way or another what he wants to do with that.
He has to tear it down.
It's already in writing what he has to do with it.
Yeah, so we'll have to go that route. When we get the letter, then we go from there.
Well, it says in there that the zoning officer is to give him a time frame
Yeah.
of tearing it down, is the way it reads.
Yeah.
So maybe that should be the way to go first.
If that's what the board desires, I can do
Yeah,
that.
it would be.
There's, I think my understanding is from, that his thoughts at this point are probably to tear it down. I guess if there's a possibility of, I don't know, if he would do anything or want anything different, he would have to request that, at the board. And what-
Probably to a zoning hearing board.
Yeah,
Right, exactly,
yeah,
that's,
right.
he is aware of that.
What his concern was that he didn't want to take the building out of the tax base
Right,
if he could find a use for it.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, figure out what you want to do, come back to the supervisors and ask them
You want to set a time?
whatever.
What, for him to come back to the supervisors, he has to
Tear it down.
I told him I wanted it by the end of next month, or this month, rather.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see.
30 days. Okay.
so he'll have something by the next meeting.
Yeah, throws it out. Okay,
We missed public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah. Okay, we're back up to public comments. Anybody got any public comments now?
I had a question. I'm John Kirshner with Finite Homes. We're involved in the Susquehanna Island project. And in 2014, we did the site work and constructed the street. We didn't do anything with the street at that time because I wasn't satisfied the swales were stabilizing enough. So we waited through this year, through the growing seasons, we were able to cut the swales a couple of times. But the improvements turned out well. We had Jerry up a number of times through the construction out to inspect it. So at this point, we'd like to turn the street over and get released from our bond. And every township we deal work in does it a little differently, so I thought I'd stop in today at your meeting and see what your procedures are for that to take place.
We need Jerry to issue us a letter stating exactly what you said,
Okay.
that, he is satisfied
Maybe this.
with the improvements and to grant the release. And then you want to turn the road over to the township. We're going to have to get the attorney involved.
Could you submit a letter then, so to what his intentions are to the township in that way?
Yeah, if you want to send me an email, that's just what you're saying, and we'll get Jerry to issue I need some type of documentation from our
Yeah,
engineer.
they're coming to the state.
And, to release you from your bond, et cetera, if everything's okay.
And we'll have a deed of dedication.
Yeah, we'll have to,
We have the plans already done for
Okay.
that, so we can put that together. I didn't know if there's a specific format that you want, but we'll send you the deed and
this
then.
is my first one here, so I don't know what the procedure
All right,
is.
we'll learn together.
Okay.
Yeah, the deed, no problem, so we'll get that up to you.
Yeah, okay,
Okay. Thank you.
yes.
Anybody else got any comments?
What are we doing with that construction outfit up there at the end of Angie's? Was that Farhat?
John Farhart. Actually, I spoke with Jerry today. There's a couple things. Neil Imes has stopped by there, and he has spoken with Zen is his name, Zen Farhart. There's ENS control that has to be looked at, and Neil Imes is looking into that and submitted to him what he has to do. There's best management practices too that he has to adhere to. So those are the things that Neil Imes, if you're familiar with who he is, and what he does. Jerry has been to the site a couple times as well. The other thing is, with the zoning officer, this is a request, if you could look into making sure everything is in compliance, as far as whatever needs to be done. If there's anything out of the ordinary, whatever that needs to be looked at, we would take time to maybe look at that and see if there are any issues that you see that write, convey a letter or something.
He should have to do the whole land management.
Pardon me, I'm sorry.
He should
Right.
need to be doing the whole land
Yeah,
management.
well, no, that's another part of it. There has been 2 letters that have been submitted by Nancy to Mr. Farhart about a land development plan. He will not get his occupancy permit until the land development plan is not just submitted, but through.
Okay.
Through the township. He will not get his occupancy permit, so he can't occupy
Okay.
until that is completed. So there are things definitely in the works.
Okay, and I'm also questioning the septic. It's been dead for
I'm
about
sorry?
15 years, the septic system. It's been dead for 15 years. Did anybody do a hydraulic test on that to see if it was sufficient, or did they not?
Do a hydraulic test on it.
Did anybody test the system?
All I know is
It
that,
hasn't been used in 15 years.
all I know is that JC had gone out there on several occasions, and apparently for whatever had to be done, and I don't know the particulars, so I'm not gonna stand here and say, I know. But whatever it was that had to be done or should be done, JC initially went out there, spoke with Mr. Farhat. Mr. Farhat talked to someone DEP, whoever the gentleman was at DEP consulted, and apparently, at this point, from what I understand, everything is okay. If there's something awry, then obviously we'll have to look into it. As far as anything else goes, I haven't spoken with JC myself per se.
I thought it had to be used within a year and a half or 2 years. It has to be used, and it hasn't been used, so it has to be tested.
You're correct, Ralph. There needs to be a hydraulic study.
Lenny, didn't you have to do one?
Absolutely, yeah, in Black.
Thank you very much. So I want that done. Hydraulic test done on it, and because that there system is so old.
The guy came out of Carlisle and did mine.
They did,
He put so much water in
yeah,
it.
test
Come
it
back.
to a low.
Yeah, that old stuff got skipped.
Yeah, well, no, that's something that, I think land development, and also that's something we need to add, that we need to make sure it gets done. Then, whether you want to make a motion, or whether you want to just make sure it gets done.
It needs to be done before they get an occupancy permit.
Yeah.
I feel they shouldn't be doing anything until they go.
I agree, I agree. And how much fill was put in there before he put the building in place? Needs to be compacted, has to set how many years, there's a lot of things, a lot of issues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Well,
Put a stop work on that whole project.
I thought you were going to do that the last
That's
time,
what I
Carl.
wanted to do, but it never happened.
Can we?
Well,
Waiting for him to get as close as an occupancy permit, it's not a,
That's gonna be doomsday, and he's up there working in it and everything else and moving around.
Well, we're not getting much satisfaction out of Jerry or the report.
No,
Well, whatever you guys want to do, if you want to, it's up to you. I know that Jerry's thoughts were, for sure, making sure that he is in compliance, whatever, because there are some things that maybe in or out of.
he's out of compliance with everything.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, right.
okay, but, yeah, I understand, because the other option would have been to have a letter from Linus, and that's gonna cost us too. So,
Look at the Linus building and see what it's costing us anyway.
yeah,
well, it's all gonna have to be addressed anyway, either way you look at it.
no,
Is put a work order on project right
Yeah, that's what I said in the last
now.
meeting.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is that a motion?
I make a motion that we put a stop work order on that project, right, as of today. That's your job. Take care of that tomorrow morning.
Do I have a second?
Second on that.
I seconded it.
All in favor, aye? Good enough. Hey, guys, it's jerking us around.
okay.
That's all it is. Stop. Okay. I guess Jerry's supposed to have this permit, next week for the stream over here.
Yeah, it'll be, when I talk to him, he'll have it by the next meeting for sure.
Yeah, it was a couple of days after last meeting, now it's next week. That's bullshit.
Okay,
And we should have it by now.
okay, well,
Okay, SEO, if nothing happened, there's somebody from the fire company. Okay, then we go to unfinished business. Okay, the sound those stuff, you have everything for that, Nancy, right?
Yes, I just received the minutes from the PC that has all the changes and so forth.
Jerry's gonna, excuse me for interrupting, Jerry said today he's gonna get you some more things that
Okay,
he'll be submitting that to you next week.
okay. So when I get time, I will start working on that.
Okay, 2014 audit started.
Yep. We got our letter to the residents.
Yeah, I guess we have that.
Talked
And we
about
just went over the
it.
Susquehanna Trail, and the end of the place for 2015 CPA, okay. Now under new business. Yeah, what, 4, right, no request,
Mhm.
and wasting our time. And we have these people with this noise again. I guess what, just, you can send them a letter, like we did with the other people, and see what happens.
I did speak with George Lowe, because he owns both
Yeah,
properties.
and he said he can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I mean, I-
bullshit.
What's this about?
There was an email that came in, and,
Provide full
yeah,
access to all records. They avoid the right now request.
it's a, yeah, go
They
ahead.
can't do any of that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk to you about that later.
It's,
Can they?
it's at two,
What they could
Other
do
people
is-
rent
no,
from George,
what they
George
do
should go
is
talk
the
to him,
letter
he just puts it
agreeing
aside.
to provide full access to all records. That way we don't have to see right now request.
Yeah.
You're an auditor, you wanna go?
I'll sign it, you make it up.
No.
I did,
You
yeah, I
ask
did
them
talk
to
to
do it,
George.
and then put in right to know request, full right now, the auditors have full access.
We will have access to the
And
record.
they know, just bring it up and tell them, you know, the right to know request to go over, just
Send
give
a
us,
letter
you
like
know.
we did with the other people
Yeah, sure.
that seemed to,
Guys, I'm not against the other things.
well, we didn't need a motion to send a letter.
I'm not even gonna ask them.
Do I send that to
Can they
George
can't
Lowe?
stop me.
Send them both.
Yeah, I would send a copy to
The
the
fact that
people
they
who
have
are
that on there.
creating a problem.
Okay.
Copy to George Lowe.
Do I have a second on that motion?
Okay.
Glenn said.
They can't, anything that it matters to is at the end
Okay,
of
you
the
got
year to do
the
close
advertised
the
for
books
the
and audit them.
budget meeting,
They
February.
can't stop me from
December
going in and
18th.
saying whether they're spending the money for this or whether they're not.
Yeah, I know.
Is there a better
No,
morning?
but they're closing it. the books.
Well, it's a Friday, and, you know, we're just gonna be doing those two things. We're not gonna be conducting any other business. So I'd say earliest in the day as possible. It's kind of up to Glenn, I guess, what time.
Okay, the 18th.
It's a Friday.
Give us a calendar.
I'll try to make it.
Okay, but early in the morning's okay with you?
Yeah, morning's fine.
Okay, like, what's the best time for you, Nancy?
Well, that's what
10
we do, it
o'clock.
costs them money.
10 o'clock.
The township building?
At the township, okay, I wanted to make sure that 10 o'clock.
And that's good with both you guys, right?
Yeah.
municipal building, there you go.
We skipped something.
Yeah. I'm going back to that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we have, everything is taken care of for the
Yes.
37
Yep.
account. Okay, next one is, okay, I make a motion to have Solicitor Bennington prepare the supervisor meeting pay for them at the rate of $75 for each attended meeting and advertise. Can I get a motion on that?
I mean,
Also,
What's that?
all in favor, aye.
I can't hear you.
Now, there is new business special meeting, we already went from.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah, on December 18th, and we will adopt the budget and adopt that ordinance. No other business will be conducted.
Okay, then we have to make a motion to hold an advertised organizational meeting on January the 5th at, what, 6 o'clock here?
That's our well, that's not a regular meeting day, but,
It's a Tuesday, it's gonna be a regular meeting from now on.
We're gonna see here, because although it's the first Tuesday of the month.
yes.
And that's when we're gonna be, everywhere.
Well, that's going to be, but I have to advertise the organization.
Yeah, for a
Yeah,
separate.
we gotta take it on.
The 5th at 6,
Right.
at the New Buffalo Fire
we
Hall.
changed our meetings to Tuesdays.
Yeah, because Lions should come on Tuesdays.
Then we should advertise the planning commission
The meeting.
reorg meeting at 7 at the New Buffalo Fire Hall. And then the auditors, they're required to meet January 5th. That, the time is up to you guys, the auditors, the Board of Auditors, and where you want to meet. You have to all get together, and what you do is you make nominations for your chair, or your
Yeah.
secretary, and then you set the working supervisor's pay rate. Now, if you guys want to meet before the regular meeting here, that would be fine. Or, I mean, it's up to you, but I have to advertise this. If you want to think about it and let me know, I gotta know.
Regular meetings at
Why don't you get her
6:30?
phone number?
We're going to start at 6 for the organizational meeting.
Okay.
What is your phone number? Your phone number?
My phone.
So we can call you.
I will give you my cell number.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so you guys can decide what you want to do. So I can put it all in one ad. And you also need your oath of office.
Mhm.
Okay, you're aware of that? Okay.
Mhm.
So that was Carl's motion.
Get a few seconds, a second.
Okay.
And I need oath of office from you, Glenn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, just to reiterate, the organizational meetings at what time on that Monday?
January 5th,
Okay,
that's a Tuesday,
okay,
at 6 o'clock.
okay,
Then we will go right into our regular business meeting.
okay,
The auditors, their meeting
The
should be
day after.
yeah,
Has to be
January
the day
5th,
after.
at whatever time and place you guys.
The supervisors meeting, from what I've read, is supposed to be on a Monday, though.
Yes, but they can hold it
Okay,
on another day, they just can't conduct any business.
okay,
That means no bills can be paid between the 1st and the 5th. No business can be conducted.
okay. Well, the organizational meeting can be held on another day other than the
Yes.
first Monday?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
But the others meet the day after,
correct.
So then they'd meet on the 6th?
on the 6th, Wednesday.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay,
And it should be here, because it's supposed to be at the same place the supervisors meet.
yes.
it's up to you guys. You
Okay.
tell me what
Well-
you want to do.
I'll talk, well, there's only 2 of us here,
Right,
so.
right. Yeah, well, the 3 of you decide what you want to do, just let me know.
Just get her cell phone, you'll be able
Okay.
to talk to
Yeah.
her.
How soon do
Okay.
you need to know before the ad goes in?
Well, I got a little time on
An
that.
hour?
Because, what? What do you say?
An hour.
No, we got a few, let me know by next Wednesday.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah, that's
And
good.
then I can get the ad placed, and
Okay.
we'll all be
Happy.
happy and in compliance.
Oh, here's the, be right there.
Yeah,
Oh,
what's
yeah.
in the order?
Well, I mean, yes.
Okay. You know, you guys talk about how much money we spend and stuff. What's with all the right to know requests? It takes up a lot of time with Nancy's.
Well, the right to know requests have been put in so the auditors can get some of this information. I think that if the board were to go ahead and give the auditors a letter that indicates that they will open up the records and ensure that the auditors will have access to all the records that they request, that the right to know request could stop, but that's up to the board of auditors.
Up to the Board of Auditors.
Yeah, it's not my decision.
We didn't want to know, talk all the time.
You're the one putting the right to know request.
I am, so that way they have the information.
At my request.
Mr. Desmond?
So if you want to have a formal letter drafted up to the Board of Auditors and they can accept that, then the right to, and they have full access to the building guaranteed by the Board of Supervisors, it's up to them, but then the right to know requests could stop and a lot of time would be saved.
But it's not just this, this are like 20, we've almost gotten 30 of them from you guys.
I know.
Every time we have to deal with them, Nancy has to take a lot of time and it costs.
Why would you go and do something like that when you got 3 auditors?
No, forget
No,
about-
wait a minute,
forget-
wait.
We're not talking about that now. I said, I was referring to other things. We've gotten up to 30 right-to-know requests. Do you know how much time and money that's taken?
That's right.
from the
Yeah.
And you'll
township?
probably get 100 more.
But why?
Why? Because we're going to see the books anyway,
Well,
one way or
forget
the other.
No, you keep coming back to the books.
Huh?
When you come into the office, you can say.
That's not just what you said up there.
But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the 30.
That's what I'm talking about.
I understand that. And going beyond that, or previous to that.
We can either work together or we can,
That's
that's
the whole
right. We can
idea.
either work together or make us tough sledding.
Exactly, and the whole idea is, if you folks want to come up with constructive help and guidelines for us, and you have ideas, we'll be more than happy to listen to them. The problem is, it's been adversarial, and that's wherein lies the problem. It's a gotcha thing. Well, let's see, what can we get them on today? Instead of, hey, you guys let.
It's always on the defensive all the time. There's nothing positive. You guys are almost like-
Wait a minute now, wait a minute. What was the last meeting we had here? What was that all about? You want to talk about defensive? That's exactly what yous were.
You guys are over the tape recorders all the time, you know. it's
We're going to
everything
record every
defensive.
meeting. We're going to record every
That's
meeting.
fine. There's nothing, we're not hiding anything.
Okay,
You guys act like
then you don't have anything to worry
giant
about.
conspiracy somewhere.
Don't have anything to worry about then, right?
That's exactly right.
Right, move on.
Well, how about we go back to just having that letter to ensure, or
We can do it anyway, just, it doesn't matter. We
Okay.
can do it
What
anyway.
did Bob James
I have a question. If you're hiring a CPA to do the audit, then who is the auditor? Isn't the CPA going to be the auditor?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Well, then, I'm lost as to why these people are doing anything if they're not the auditor.
They have to set the working supervisor's pay rate. And the CPA cannot do that.
Even though he's the auditor.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay, the implications of such statements here now go ahead and create more of an adversarial
There
situation.
you go.
All right? Now, if you just say, okay, auditors, you can have access to all the records, no problem. The right to know requests can stop, it's no problem. Just let them have
It leads me
access.
back to the question, Brian. The experience.
How do you know how
I think
much
talked
experience
to-
I got?
I talked to John Heffenfinger. He's
Okay.
very willing to take classes, because there are all kinds of classes for the auditors to take.
Okay?
My thing is, and it's the time frame. And we, we're very far behind on that.
Yes.
We've gotten letters from DCED.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying, no, I don't know the experience that you have, but do you have experience auditing township
But what you said on this
records?
tape here earlier, they're unexperienced. You said that.
Yeah.
That's on the tape, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the truth. You don't
How
have
do you know that's the
experience
truth?
auditing township records.
How do you know that? You state that as a fact?
No,
See, this is
Ralph,
why
Okay,
we
this
don't
is not
work-
going
good.
anywhere.
That's why I don't want to work with you guys. You just,
That's,
you
that's,
just want to
that's,
sign the fence.
hey, Jens can be just as hard as everybody else.
Yep.
That's right.
Move on. Okay, the planning commission,
we already did that.
okay, got that. The next thing is the payment bills.
Just continue right now.
But the Snyder paving, can you have him readjust that?
Yeah. But she might make a cut. She doesn't
That's
hold
one
it
more.
all.
I thought he was going to readjust it.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna hold off this Snyder bill.
It's right. Is that a problem?
Is that okay? Yeah, okay. Okay, motion to pay the bills.
With the exception of Snyder.
Snyder, right.
All right.
Is there anything else before we?
All fair side?
All right.
Anything else you?
Next thing would be, anybody got anything else to say before we adjourn?
Yeah, I have just one question. This noise thing has come up again, and there's a gentleman in the township, and he's saying that, I don't know where to come down on this, I'm just bringing this up. He's saying that people right next to him have formed a shooting club, they shoot at all hours of the day, they are zeroing in their night scopes at 11 and 12 o'clock at night, and he's worried that, he claims we're the only township that doesn't have some sort of dealings with shooting clubs and the noise thing. I'm just bringing this up for everybody to think about. I'm just saying that he feels very strongly that the township should at least think about something that would create either a noise ordinance or something that would preclude shooting clubs. Me, I like to shoot, so I'm just saying, but that's
I
what
shoot
he's
at my house
saying.
all the time, and I'm going to continue, and I have no interest in any frickin' anti-gun club.
No, I'm not saying anything, I'm just bringing up, that's what was brought up to ask.
That gentleman has called me on numerous occasions, and then Bob ended up getting,
And zoning officer for Howe Township, they have no shooting ordinance either.
They don't.
That's
Well, then maybe this gentleman's wrong.
Yeah. And then besides doing the shooting, they've been there for about 2 years, and they're gonna be
yeah, they're gonna be grandfathered in anyway.
anyway, so it don't matter.
I'm just throwing it out because I got the
Yeah,
call.
okay.
Yeah, you got the call, you picked up the phone one time.
I think, phone up at the wrong time.
Make a motion